Broadcasting from down on the bayou, it's the AverageMarks Pro Wrestling Podcast, a proud member of the Roar Network, powered by thegorillaposition.com. And now your hosts, Michael Leander and Patrick Fry.
And welcome to episode 83 of the AverageMarks Pro Wrestling Podcast. We are broadcasting live from the CBD4U.net studios. Great thing about CBD4U.net, they're having an 80% off blowout sale. If you don't find anything in their blowout sale, don't worry about it. If you're looking for cake pops, if you're looking for premium CBD oil, if you're looking for, the Tommy Chong, as you can see on our live stream right here, the Tommy Chong gummy bears, they got them. If they're not in the blowout sale, you can always use the code WELCOME35 and get 35% off your order. Anxiety, pain, nausea, CBD works for tons of stuff. You got to give it a try if you're having trouble sleeping or if you had any of the symptoms that I just said a second ago. CBDFORYOU.net.
Boy, Mikey O, I'm excited about today's episode. There's a lot to dabble in on. Got some breaking news earlier today. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. But obviously, the Average Marks episode number 93. We're going to talk about a new big signing by WWE today. Mm-hmm. Also, we're going to talk about NXT USA had their second episode last night. Next week, they go to the full 2 hours. Next week, they go up against AEW Dynamite. It's a WWE premiere week next week. And next week, just a huge week in wrestling coming up. Not to mention also the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view a week from Sunday as well. Next week, we're going to have our Hell in a Cell prediction show as well. A lot of new things coming next week. Also, some new WWE commentary teams announced earlier today as well. We're going to talk a little bit about the Royal Rumble. Some of the AMP crew bought some tickets to the Royal Rumble.
All right.
So we're going to talk about that as well. And then also I wanted to talk about what Rob Van Dam's been up to. Rob Van Dam's been posting some interesting things on his social media, and I think that's going to be a fun little conversation we can have towards the end of the show. So that I thought that was going to be fun to talk about. So we're going to talk about all that stuff, all the news and everything that's happening in the world of pro wrestling over the next week or so. It's all coming up here on the Average Marks, episode number 93.
Yeah, I want to say what's up to everybody listening to us on the live stream. Also on radio, 1310 KEZM here in Southwest Louisiana. What's up, guys? You can follow us on social media. We are where you are. Just search at the Average Marks, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, YouTube. And if you would like to help support our content, keep us going for years to come, please consider donating $1 a month. That's it, $1 a month. There's other perks on there, too. You can go all the way up to $50, but if you like our content, please consider donating $1 at patreon.com/theaveragemarks.
And we're back now on this Thursday schedule now.
Yes.
Had some stuff, that keeping us from doing on Thursdays, but now we're going to at least try to consistently do this thing on Thursdays, 5:30. I know it's a little after 5:30, but 30 minutes late. But we're still here on Thursday, and we expect to be here every Thursday for as long as we can see. So, but let's dive into the first topic. Breaking news earlier today, courtesy, I think, initially PW Insider Mike Johnson.
You mean Unc Dave didn't break this?
No, Unc Dave,
because he's not an insider.
Well, he may. I don't know if he did, but
no, I didn't. Mike Johnson did.
So Mike Johnson, former Impact Wrestling champion John Hennigan, also known as John Morrison, has signed a deal to return to World Wrestling Entertainment. PWInsider.com has confirmed. 39 years old, John Morrison. He had a long run with WWE after winning the third season of their Tough Enough reality series. Also performing for WWE through 2011 as John Morrison. During his first run with the company, he held the WWE Intercontinental Championship, the WWE's version of the ECW, the WWE version of the ECW title, and he has held several tag team title. And he's had several tag team title reigns with Joey Mercury. They were M&M or M. What were they? Because it was him, Joey Mercury, and Melina. They were like a
Yeah, I don't remember
there.
the name of it, though.
It was like Eminem or something like that. But he's also one of the top stars in the El Rey Network's Lucha Underground promotion, performing as Johnny Mundo and holding the Lucha Underground Championship. In Mexico, he held the AAA Mega Championship as well as their Cruiserweight title. His most recent national run had been with Impact Wrestling, where he debuted in 2017. I know you followed Impact Wrestling the last couple of years.
Yeah, where Austin Aries no-sold him like a little punk.
Yeah. So you know a little bit more about his Impact days, but over the course of his Impact run, he held the promotion's top title, and he had been one of the cornerstones of the company. He departed this past July after the Slammiversary pay-per-view. He had really found himself there with his Mayor of Slamtown persona.
Yes.
Outside of professional wrestling in recent years, he has also cultivated quite an acting resume in both independent films and TV series. He was on Survivor.
Did you see Boone the Bounty Hunter?
No, I did not.
Dude, that was such a good movie.
I did not.
Like,
see
it seems corny as hell, but it was such a great movie.
Yeah, his new short horror film, The Iron Sheik Massacre, set for release this fall. He also co-wrote, the executive produced, and starred in the independent film Boone and the Bounty Hunter, which was released in 2017. Hennigan also appeared in the first season of Netflix's Glow and appeared. I don't even remember that because I watched the first season of Glow.
Yeah, I don't remember him in Glow either.
But apparently, yeah, I remember Brodus Clay was in. Of course,
right.
I call him Brodus Clay. I don't remember his real name.
Brother, yeah.
He appeared in Russell Madness, Sharknado 5, and Hercules Reborn, among other films. One would assume that Hennigan, who has slipped in and out of a number of in-ring names over the years, will revert back to his old John Morrison WWE ring name upon his return, and that's all.
But if they put him on Raw, he can be Johnny Raw
well,
or Johnny SmackDown.
Well, people are hoping that maybe he goes to NXT first, which...
Ooh.
That would be very interesting. Obviously, you know, NXT is the hot brand, and we'll talk a little bit about NXT, but we'll stick with the John Morrison topic for the time being. I tell you what, I'm excited. I've always been a fan of John Morrison. I was never one of those guys that was crazy about him, but I liked his look. He has tremendous in-ring ability, and I think he can bring a little bit of buzz back to the WWE. Certainly. I don't know if they're going to bring, because, you know, they've brought people back to NXT, I guess, at times. But I think he's going to go to the main roster, maybe SmackDown. You know, he'd be a good person to put on SmackDown, but he'd also be a good person to put on Raw because obviously they're going to start putting all their eggs into SmackDown's basket now that SmackDown is officially done on USA. And their next time we see SmackDown on television, they'll be on Fox. So, you know, he's a guy that could certainly carry the Raw brand because I think right now you have established stars that have been around in WWE, you know, like a Brock Lesnar, like a Kofi Kingston, like a Roman Reigns, and people like that that you're going to put, you know, your staple holds, and you talk about the women, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, put those people on SmackDown, whereas you got, you know, John Morrison, whereas, you know, last time he was in WWE was 8 years ago, and there might not be a lot of people that are still sticking around right now watching WWE religiously that were here in 2011 that remember John Morrison. So maybe put him on a Raw brand, and I don't know. We'll see what they do with him, but I'm personally excited about John Morrison being back in WWE. What you think?
Yeah, you said generating buzz, and I find that interesting because when he was with WWE, they kind of booked him corny. And like you said, I didn't really get into him either. He only started getting momentum as a professional wrestler when he got out on his own, when they released him.
Yeah.
And he started doing his own thing and creating his own characters.
Yeah.
Are they going to ruin him, or are they going to let him have a little freedom here?
Well,
you would think they would say, okay, you've made a brand for yourself, dude. Like, keep it going.
Yeah, and I mean, like I mentioned a while ago, you know, he was the Intercontinental Champion at one time, multiple-time Tag Team Champion. So he's already, you know, a decorated, and he was the ECW Champion as well when they were integrated with WWE. So he is already a decorated star just in WWE. I mean, even more decorated now outside of WWE with Lucha Underground and Impact Wrestling. So he's, you know, gone somewhat all over at least, you know, North America and wrestled and been successful. So now he's back in the biggest brand in North America in WWE. And maybe this time, you know, depending on how they book him, let's hope, fingers crossed, they do it correctly. But hey, he could have a world title run in him now, a WWE title run in him now. Who knows? And maybe he goes to NXT. I don't know. I don't think that will happen. Although I would love to see him, you know, come back, you know, maybe make an appearance in NXT a time or two because Obviously, NXT started in 2012, right after John Morrison was gone, so he's never been in NXT. That'd be a nice surprise, I think, especially now with NXT going up head-to-head with AEW on Wednesday nights. Get a little star power in there.
Yeah.
Put a guy like John Morrison in there and, let him wrestle in there for a little bit. And obviously, he's going to go to the main roster one way or another, whether he starts there or whether he eventually ends up there if he does go to NXT. But I think, personally, he will end up on the main roster. And now that apparently he's signed, I mean, when do we see John Morrison? That's what I want to know. Are we going to see him the Raw season premiere? Is he just going to return next week, season premiere? I think, if he's going to be on Raw or a SmackDown, that would be a good time to bring him back. Your season premiere of Raw or your first episode of SmackDown on Fox or maybe your first episode of NXT if they decide to bring him back. Your first episode is going to be 2 hours, limited commercial interruption going up against AEW Dynamite next Wednesday. If you're going to bring him back, hey, next week is the week to bring him back. Why wait?
Mm-hmm. Or maybe you wait till after both brands had drafted, he comes in as, a free agent, and he can go between both shows.
Maybe so, but certainly, he's been out. He hasn't wrestled since July, at least not on major, wrestling, not for a major wrestling promotion. I don't know if he's done some independent stuff since then, but ever since Slammiversary, which was, 2 months ago, so he's had a little 2-month break to kind of, chill out, relax, maybe get a little vacation in. And now, hey, look, man, you're back in WWE. Let's get this ball rolling. Let's not waste any time. Let's, put him into a storyline and let's get this thing rolling because now it's on. AEW's here. The weekly television show is here. They're going to be in full force, man. It's time to get it on. They're talking about the war is starting next week. So, hey, let's get him in. Hit the ground running. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder if they're going to sign his wife.
Who's his wife?
Taya Valkyrie.
I don't know. Is she still under contract? She's in Impact?
She might still be under contract.
Yeah, she might still be under contract. But, hey, if she becomes a free agent, I could see her going to NXT for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, because obviously, NXT, everybody moves on to the main roster, so you're going to have to keep signing people for NXT. So it'd be a, possible future signing for NXT. I could definitely see that happening. Her to, come be, because WWE these days is about, because there's a lot of, relationships within WWE, and they're all about, catering to those,
yep.
to those relationships. So obviously, Taya Valkyrie, talented wrestler, got a lot of experience under her belt. I don't see why Triple H could take her in, and Triple H is making some stars down there in NXT. So
yeah.
Triple H could definitely do something with Taya Valkyrie. Certainly wants some of the, because you're going to have your Shayna Baszlers of the world, Mia Yims, your Dakota Kai's eventually going to go up to the main roster, and now you got to fill those gaps. So
my first time to see Mia Yim was on the NXT debut, and you're right, dude. She's fantastic.
Yeah, that women's Fatal 4-Way match last week, was absolutely. I thought it was phenomenal. You were a little down on the show as a whole.
Yeah, after that match, I was like, bruh, okay. Like, I wasn't cool with the production, but I was like, this is fantastic first match. Mm-hmm. And then after that, it just went down. Yeah,
well, last night, NXT on USA, certainly, and I forgot to put the picture of John Morrison up, and I went and, so we'll just do that here real
Abraham
quick.
Lincoln.
Yeah, there's Abraham Lincoln right there on the stream if you're watching live on the stream right now.
When he was on Survivor.
Oh, Jufro Assassin's in the
nice
in the chat. He put a he like drew out some boobs.
Oh,
in the chat. So
maybe it's because we're like
Cruz, stick around. You're foreshadowing what we're going to talk about later on at the end of the episode. So be sure to stick around for this.
Yeah,
because I think you're going to like this. But Jufro Assassin. We're also going to talk about the Royal Rumble coming up in January, which Cruz, of course, is Jufro Assassin. Cruz, part of the AMP crew here. We're going to be at Minute Maid Park. We got 6 tickets. Brink may or may not be there. That's still up in the air. We're going to talk about that coming up a little bit later on. But, yeah, John Morrison back in WWE. I'm excited to see what he can do. I would love to see him in NXT, absolutely. But my gut tells me he's going to just end up on the main roster because Bobby Lashley came back from Impact. And, obviously, he had a former he's very similar road as John Morrison. He was in WWE, went elsewhere, had an MMA career, went to Impact, and then Sleeping Angels. Hello, Sleeping Angels in the chat. How you doing, Sleeping Angels? Thanks for joining us. But John Morrison went to Impact just like Bobby Lashley. Now he's coming back to WWE just like Bobby Lashley did, even though Bobby Lashley right now, he's hurt. He won't be back probably for another month or two, but like I said, I expect him to show up on Raw or SmackDown at some point, hopefully sooner than later, just to create some buzz, and hopefully they don't, like I said, because this is how it is when guys like this come back. They come back, it's the buzz. Oh, you're new, fresh, cool. He's back. It's awesome. It's new. And then
they give him a dumb storyline.
Yeah, give him a dumb storyline, make him look like an idiot. And we'll see. But I think they were pretty high on him the first time around. I think they would be even more high on him this time now that he's gone out, made a name for himself in not only Lucha Underground, but also Impact Wrestling. So he's gone and done well in other major wrestling promotions.
And he can act in WWE movies now.
Absolutely, yes. He's had a little bit of an acting career. He was on Survivor. Dude did wonders for himself. Actually raised his stock. And a lot of guys do that now. They leave WWE and they raise their stock. John Morrison is one of those guys that certainly did that. So excited to have John Morrison back.
Before we move off of John, real quick, on Survivor. If you don't watch Survivor out there, he was on the one with it was called Davids versus Goliaths. And, of course, the Goliaths were people who were successful and good-looking, and the Davids were, like, nerds.
Yeah.
And there was this one guy that was a rocket scientist, and they called him Big Bang Theory. And he was infatuated with John Morrison. And he was like, if I ever get to talk to him, I'm going to ask him how many people reside in Slamtown. Because he kept telling people he was the mayor of Slamtown on there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would not be surprised.
Oh, it was so funny.
Guy's a good-looking dude, no homo. But, I mean, hey, he's Mr. Abraham Lincoln. So John Morrison signed with WWE. Now we just play the waiting game to see when he shows up and what's he going to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we're going to move on to our next topic, which is obviously going to be NXT versus AEW. The war is officially on next week, October the 2nd. We're going to get 2 full hours of NXT, which NXT, they sort of got a little bit of a head start now. They had 1.17 million viewers, almost 1.2 million viewers last week. I have not seen the numbers last night. Did you happen to? I'm going to pull it up here.
No, just like the last podcast, if you remember, Patrick, I don't trust those numbers. How can they? It's all a guesstimation. How can they say that? They don't know.
Well, I mean, people apparently fill out diaries like they do in radio.
Yeah, I know, but they didn't log me in watching it. They didn't log you in watching it.
No, they certainly didn't, but it's a rough estimate. I mean...
And you know what? Get this WWE network right. If you're going to put the second hour on the network, at least have it work.
Well, hey, look, next week they get two full hours on USA, so we don't have to worry about that. Because last night, I don't know if
what a debacle.
I don't know what's going on. The last 2 Wednesday nights, I've tried to log into the WWE network. It's not letting me, and I thought maybe it was my internet. But then I got on my phone, which was on my data. It wasn't connected to my Wi-Fi, and I tried to log on. It wasn't working. So I don't know what the hell's going on, but
their servers couldn't take it, probably.
Maybe not. I mean, it dropped. Let's see. Sleeping Angel says it dropped. I believe. Well, it may have, but next week we won't have to worry about that. They're gonna have 2 full hours going head to head with AEW Dynamite. And speaking of next week, I'm gonna take a look at the cards for next week. We'll start with AEW Dynamite, and we also have a poll up too. We're going to get to the results of that in a minute. Of what we asked the Amp Nation, what show are you going to watch next week? AEW Dynamite or NXT? And somebody was like, do the old school way, watch them both. Well, look, unless you have 2 TVs going on at the same time,
you're going to have a main show.
You're going to have one show you mainly focus on, and then when a commercial for that show comes on, then you might switch over to the other program. But let me see if I can pull up the card for the first episode, and I'll have to look it up here real quick.
And if we're being totally honest with ourselves, if you look at both rosters, NXT has so much more talent.
Oh, well, now
like AEW's top heavy.
Well,
big time.
Yeah, I guess front, top to bottom, yes, I would say NXT overall. But if you want to talk about the top 4 or 5 guys, AEW might have them. I mean, you got Kenny, who's one of the best in the world. The Bucks, who's one of the top tag teams in the world. You got obviously Cody, who's certainly, if you want to talk about people raising their stock after leaving WWE, Cody Rhodes is the definition of that. You also have guys like Hangman Page, who's up and coming. You got Jericho on there, obviously one of the all-time greats. So,
yeah. But they got an uphill battle because they have to make stars out of dudes and make names for themselves, where NXT is already established.
Well, they're doing a good job of that. Guys like Luchasaurus, they're doing a good job of that. Still a little bit of controversy over Orange Cassidy. I think he's
Pockets.
Yeah, my little dog Pockets. He's certainly I think him being in AEW obviously has raised his stock to the next level. And I'm just trying to think of some other guys.
I was listening to Cornette the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Cornette thinks he's making six figures. Pockets.
It's possible. I mean, they're chunking some money out there.
He said, as far as he knows, everybody on that roster is making six figures.
Well, I'll be interested to see, financially, I guess that's why they got to charge $50 for AEW All Out and a Double or Nothing. But and I know they gave away Fight for the Fallen and what was the other one? Fight for the Fallen and Fyter Fest for free.
Yes.
These free events, they're not going to be happening very long because you got to start paying these guys some way, somehow. But now you got this weekly show where you're going to be selling tickets. You're going to make money from the tickets. This TV deal, I don't know if they're getting paid for the TV deal, if they're paying money. I don't know how that works.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure TNT is paying them.
So they got the TV deal, obviously, starting next week. But let me pull up the match card for the October 2nd edition of AEW Dynamite here. Here we go. This might be the first one here.
Cody signed Jacob Fatu.
All right, so you're going to have Cody Rhodes versus Sammy Guevara next week. That's going to open the show, be the first match ever on AEW television. You also have the AEW Women's Championship match, Nyla Rose versus Riho. Nyla Rose is the favorite, but I don't know. I was thinking about this last night. Riho, she's a great wrestler. Don't get me wrong. But, you don't get me wrong. On paper, it looks like it's Nyla Rose's to lose. But, Riho, she's real tight with Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega's one of the EVPs. Maybe he's got a little pull and say, hey, you know what? Let's make Nyla Rose look strong, but we're going to get Riho that belt some way, somehow. I don't know how that's going to work, but
and we talked about this 2 podcasts ago. Get some stars in there that people are invested in. Nobody gives a crap about Riho, and a whole lot of people don't care about Nyla Rose either.
Mm-hmm. No,
it should have been people like.
I'm interested to see what direction they go in. I'll tell you now. I've said it before. Next week, I'm going to be watching mainly AEW. When they go to commercial, I'm going to go to NXT and see what's going on over there. But I'm mainly going to, and I voted in the poll. I voted for AEW Dynamite. I'm curious to see what they're going to do because this is the new, fresh thing. NXT's been established now for 7 years. They're just going on TV, whereas AEW Dynamite is a brand spanking new television show. So I want to see, what's going to happen here with this show. I want to see the setup, which it might be the setup for them has been mostly the same for all their shows. Might be the same for Dynamite on Wednesday. But yeah, the women's title match, I don't know. For your inaugural women's title match.
Britt Baker and Allie.
Yeah, Britt, obviously, your inaugural AEW World title match was Omega and Jericho, 2 of your biggest stars on your roster. And the women, I don't know what they're trying to do with the women now. But, okay, it's early. It's the first title match. Sure, give it to whoever. I don't care. But then, obviously...
Oh, you mean give it to a man?
Yeah, give it to a man or a lady that used to be a man. Let's we'll be nice about it.
Oh, she still is a man.
She's
a man, baby.
He's a man, like William Regal's old theme song there. But yeah, so like I said, in Riho, like I said, Nyla Rose I can understand because there's been a lot of buzz around Nyla Rose. The fact that it's because of the fact that she is a transgender. That's really been the story about her, and I think AEW they want to make the headlines, because of that. We're gonna crown a transgender champion. They want to be different, whatever the case may be. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but you know what? At the end of the day, if Nyla Rose can impress me in the ring, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, and you know what? If you're going to make Nyla Rose a beast, which she should because she's a dude in a girls' division, then obviously a girl could take a loss, so you could have put Britt Baker in there and have her take the L.
Yeah.
It's believable.
Well, Britt Baker was the second to last one. Now, Britt Baker, she's feuding with... who was the one? I can't even remember who the one that pulled her out. Remember, because she was the second to last one in the Casino Battle Royale. Bea Priestley, I think.
Yes.
Bea Priestley.
Yes.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see those two go one-on-one later. Now, here's a match we were supposed to see at Double or Nothing, but we actually saw it. I think it was at Dragon's Gate? Or was it some event before? It's a Hangman Page versus Pac, or Pac. I don't know which what they're using, but
Pac sounds cooler.
Hangman Page versus Pac will happen October the 2nd. Also, MJF will be taking on Brandon Cutler one-on-one as well.
Really?
Will give me your thoughts on that match.
We can't get an MJF Sean Spears for the first show?
Well, I think we'll get that down the line somewhere, but Who knows? Also, Kenny Omega and the Bucks, the Elite, taking on Chris Jericho and 2 mystery partners, which I think has been confirmed now that it's going to be LAX will be Jericho's 2 partners. So that'll probably main event the show, if I had to guess. But yes, Kenny Omega and the Bucks, Chris Jericho, and right now they're it's supposed to be a secret, but I think I heard that it's going to be LAX.
Well, LAX is the Impact gimmick. They changed their name.
Yeah, they changed their names, but I'm calling them LAX for now because I don't even remember what their new names are. And then also, Jon Moxley is expected to be there as well. Also, it's I'm reading the article here on CBS Sports about AEW's Dynamite on TNT's debut. Potential surprise debuts to draw some buzz. Cody has stated we've only seen 40% of the AEW roster, which means there are some potentially big names that could surprise fans at any time. That's another reason why I want to see AEW, because I feel like they still have a lot of surprises up their sleeve. They haven't
Could it be Enzo and Big Cass?
No, I doubt it. I'm willing to bet that's not going to happen. So we'll see. But let's see. People are expecting CM Punk, which I don't think we're going to see that either. If we were going to get CM Punk, we were going to get him at All Out in Chicago. There's no other way. If AEW has CM Punk at their disposal, they would have been moronic to do anything else than to have him show up at their biggest event in his hometown and do something. It don't matter. You could have had him show up and put his hands in his pockets and have a hands in pockets match against Orange Cassidy, and it would have been wiser than any other thing you could do with CM Punk.
Like, I agree with you. The mark in me agrees with you. But talking with a local promoter around here, because I was talking to him about a match and how everybody wanted it and when are we going to get it? And he said, you don't give the people what they want.
At least not yet. Not right off the bat.
You let them burn for it until it gets to the point where they can't stand it anymore.
Yeah.
And then you give it to him.
Cruz says Moxley shows up, distracts Omega, Elite loses the match, Omega spiral continues. Yeah, because we still haven't gotten the Omega Moxley payoff yet. We might get it at the one on November the 9th, Gears or whatever the hell.
Yeah, Full Gear.
Full Gear. We might get it there. I don't know.
They got to give Omega a W sometime soon, because this guy is almost becoming non-existent in wrestling talk. This guy was everywhere when he was in New Japan. Mm-hmm. Nobody's hardly talking about Omega anymore.
Sleeping Angel says CM Punk doesn't want to wrestle again. People need to leave him alone, LOL.
Sleeping Angel, when they throw all this money at him, it's going to be hard to say no.
I still don't think we're going to see CM Punk anytime soon in wrestling.
They got the 10th richest man in the world behind them. Mm-hmm. They can throw some serious cash at this dude, even if it's just for like a 1-year run. Like generational type money. Even though he's made that in the UFC to get beat up, making millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. Generational type money. Yeah. I mean, like 4 or 5 generations taken care of. Forget about it. They don't even have to worry about working.
All right. So obviously next Wednesday, AEW Dynamite, they're going to go head-to-head with NXT.
Yes.
They're going to be, the last 2 weeks they've been on USA, but they've only been on USA for an hour.
Thanks a lot, Suits.
Yeah, well, the season's over, so we're getting 2 full hours.
It's over forever now. That was the last season.
Oh, that was last season?
Yeah.
Good, because, because nobody gives a crap about Suits.
That's why you're gone.
Yeah, watch the ratings skyrocket when NXT takes over that second hour. But, the first 2 weeks of NXT, I've been impressed. I've always been impressed with NXT. If there's anybody out there that's not impressed with NXT as just a brand in general, then just don't watch wrestling, because NXT has been...
Not going to find anything better.
NXT has consistently been the best brand of wrestling probably for the past 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
Just watch any takeover the past 4 or 5 years and tell me, tell me anything that's been better than any of the NXT takeovers. I'll wait.
We'll be here for a while.
Yeah, we'll be a while. Cruz says watch BTE, which is Being the Elite. It's a thing. He's in a spiral. I don't watch. I watch BTE every now and again, like if I see it pop up on YouTube. But I don't know. I can't quite get into it. I don't know. It's just I like watching them wrestle.
Yeah.
I'm not the side stuff, and it doesn't really do much for me.
Right.
It does. I mean, it's a great show. Don't get me wrong. They do. They put a lot into it. But I want to see them. I want to see the Elite on AEW. I want to see them wrestling. I want to see them fighting. wrestling storylines. I know that, probably the BTE stuff obviously ties in with AEW, but at the end of the day, I want to watch them wrestle, I want to watch them fight, because what they do in the ring is much more entertaining than what they do on BTE, in my opinion.
Right, and then the fact that the majority of the people who are going to be watching AEW don't watch BTE. They're casual wrestling fans.
Yeah.
So they don't know what's going on in this storyline.
Yeah.
You bring it over to here where he's supposed to be one of the best wrestlers in the world, and now he's not.
Yeah.
Just because on your YouTube show, you want to say he's in a spiral.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But now the thing with Kenny Omega is that obviously I like how they're, not, obviously since AEW has started, he hasn't really, he fought Jericho, he lost, and now he's not really in the title hunt. He's just kind of hanging around. They're not shoving him down our throats in a sense, like having him win everything, be the unbeatable guy that probably a lot of people expected him to be when AEW started, but I'm kind of glad they're holding off on it. I think
he was fantastic as that.
He was. Don't get me wrong. He still is. He's still fantastic. But
he's a mid-carder now.
Well, I wouldn't say he's a mid-carder, but
the way they're treating him.
Well, trust me, that's going to change. I promise you. He's going to be in the title picture at some point. I don't know when it's going to be, but trust me. As soon as Omega gets that belt, whenever it may be, they're going to make sure that title run is the best thing ever. They're going to put all their eggs in that basket, I promise you. Just right now, they want to, because probably a lot of people that are starting to watch AEW, they might not have watched New Japan. They might not really know about Kenny Omega. They know about Chris Jericho. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people probably watch WWE because Jericho's been much more of a household name for a much longer period of time than Kenny Omega. So I understand, giving Jericho the first AEW title, because now people's going to tune in. Let's say somebody's tuning in for the first time ever watching AEW on Wednesday night. They're gonna hear Judas come out and they're gonna see Chris Jericho and they're gonna say, "Oh, hey, I know that guy. Oh, he's the world champ. Damn, okay, this is a." They're for real over here. They got Chris Jericho as their world champion. I know who that is. Some people might be like, "Who's this guy?" And with the these two the Bucks and everything, and they might know Cody because Cody was in WWE as well. So I understand that, but eventually, I think they want to build Kenny up to this possible, some of the new audience that probably AEW is going to have that maybe New Japan didn't have. So they're going to build him up, and eventually they're going to show, this new audience what he can do in the ring, because let's face it, the dude's in-ring ability is probably almost unmatched. Mm-hmm. But they're going to build him up like that, and eventually he's going to have the title. And when he has that title, dude, I'm telling you, they're going to skyrocket him into the stratosphere,
But at the same time, you're introducing him to all these people. He's taking these L's, and they're saying, oh, this guy's got great hair, but he can't win. So then how are you going to put the belt around him then?
Sleeping Angel says not to change subjects. What do you think of the new...
But you are going to change the subject.
No, because we're going to talk about this coming up. And spell check might have done you wrong here, Sleeping Angels. But it says, what do you think of the new comforters for Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live? I'm assuming you're talking about the new commentators for...
It's still summertime. We don't use comforters right now.
I don't ever use a comforter, man. I got a... Every now and again, if I got that fan blowing real hard on me.
Southwest Louisiana.
Well, we'll talk about the new commentary teams coming up in just a little bit. Sleeping Angels. Right now, I want to go over the NXT show for next week. This is what's going to be going up against AEW Dynamite. So, Street Profits will get their tag team title rematch against the Undisputed Era. So you got Street Profits versus Undisputed Era for the tag team titles. You're going to have Candice LeRae versus Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's title.
Nice.
And then you're going to have Adam Cole Bebe versus Matt Riddle for the NXT Championship.
Holy cow.
So 3 titles will be on the line next week on NXT. I'm not sure of any other matches that they're going to have. I'm sure they'll have like 2 other matches. But
from the last NXT show, did we say that Undisputed Era swept all the belts?
Yeah, they have all the belts.
They have all the gold.
They have all the gold. Adam Cole, Bebe, is your NXT champion. Roderick Strong is your North American champion. And Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish are your NXT tag team champion. So right now, all the gold in NXT is around the waist or on the shoulders of a Undisputed Era member.
The most dominant faction in wrestling today.
Yep.
These dudes need to be NXT lifers. They will ruin them in the main roster. They need to stay.
Yeah, trust me. I'm sure Triple H is saying, hey, let me keep these dudes here. So that's what's happening with NXT next week. I'm not sure off the top of my head of any other matches, but 3 title matches next week. So obviously, hey, going all out for their first episode. And also limited commercial interruptions, and they will be 2 full hours, 7 to 9, live. No suits next week. Thank goodness. No suits.
Screw you, suits.
All right. So let's dive into
with the poll.
Yeah, the poll. That's what I was about to say. Let's dive into the poll on our Facebook earlier today. If you haven't voted yet, you can go and vote. Let me refresh it just in case it changed. But we put a poll up, and after 331 votes, we asked, what show will you be watching on October 2nd? What show are you going to watch? That's simple as that. What show are you going to... And a lot of people were saying, well, you can go back and forth. Yes, you can go back and forth, but there's going to be one show that you're going to be focused on more than the other. My vote was for AEW Dynamite. What did you vote for?
AEW, most definitely.
56% said... AEW Dynamite. 56% AEW Dynamite. 44% said NXT. So, kind of close. It's about what I expected. NXT started strong earlier today when we put this poll up.
Yes.
But AEW, man, they're roaring back. So I think a lot of folks are going to be watching AEW, obviously because it's the new, fresh brand. And down the line, this may change. It depends. NXT, I'm telling you, if you've watched NXT the last couple of weeks, my opinion, you have a little bit of a different opinion, but I think it's been absolutely stellar. NXT knows how to put on a television show. By this point, AEW, their production and stuff.
I mean, you don't know how the second hour went.
No, I don't, but I know what happened. I did see highlights too as well. So I did
God
watch.
Bless you, too.
I did watch the and here's the thing about NXT. They had Walter show up.
Yes.
They had Pete Dunne show up. So they get some of these NXT UK guys to show up too. So that's very smart. That's very wise because when you have, other brands like NXT UK and also 205 Live at your disposal. Also last night, I know Cruz will like this. Kushida was on NXT last night.
I saw that.
He teamed with Breezango, and that was very fun to watch. So, but let's see.
All the guys from New Japan, I wonder why they signed him.
He was like what, a 6-time junior heavyweight champion?
Yeah, I know.
The dude's amazing. You're gonna see. Don't worry. Start watching.
You got Will Ospreay that you need to steal.
Well, Will Ospreay. I don't think Will Ospreay wants to go anywhere right now because I think he's gonna be the next big thing in New Japan. But because now
the next big thing in NXT.
Well, he wants to do his thing in New Japan. He's probably gonna, and maybe he'll want to do like Omega. Omega finally got to the top of the ladder in New Japan, won the IWGP Heavyweight title from Okada, and now his boys, and he's Canadian too, so he kind of maybe wanted to come back a little closer to home. He did he won the G1. He won the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. He won the IWGP Heavyweight title in New Japan. I mean, he did just about everything he could do except win or retain the IWGP Heavyweight title at Wrestle Kingdom. But, I think for Kenny Omega, he saw this AEW venture and he said, you know what? I've done everything I feel like I can do here in New Japan. It's time to start something fresh, go a little closer to home in Canada. And now he's
cash these checks.
Yeah, cash these checks too. He's probably making more money.
Oh yeah,
especially as he's got an executive vice president role, and we know that when his contract was up with New Japan, WWE was wanting to throw the kitchen sink at him, and I don't blame him. But certainly, I think Omega made the right decision going to AEW. So
maybe Ospreay likes the Japanese women. That's why he's staying.
Maybe maybe he likes Riho, man. Him and Riho, man.
Hey.
And Riho's not a bad looking chick by any means. I mean, look at Io Shirai, man. Io Shirai looks good. Asuka, boy, I like me some.
Oh, today's Asuka's birthday.
Yes, happy birthday to Asuka, 38 years old. If you need some birthday coitus or something like that, just holler at your boy at that boy PAT on Twitter. Let me know.
Yes.
So next week, a big week in pro wrestling, AEW Dynamite, the season premiere of Raw on Monday, AEW Dynamite, NXT on Wednesday, SmackDown on Fox on Friday. You're going to have Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston. Brock Lesnar's first match on SmackDown in, 15 years? Mm-hmm. That's going to be happening on Friday night. WWE Premiere Week next week is what they're dubbing it as. And speaking of Premiere Week, Sleeping Angels, we're going to go ahead and talk about what you brought up here just a few minutes ago. New commentary teams for Raw and SmackDown. Obviously, looking at these commentary teams, you can see I got pictures up here on the live stream. SmackDown's going to be the A show. You got Cole, you got Graves, and you have Renee, but she's listed as a special consultant. She's getting...
What?
Well, she's going to get a show. She's getting to host. She's going to get her own show. It's going to be called WWE Backstage, I think. It's going to be on FS1. She's going to be the host along with Booker T. So that's going to be her main priority. That starts but that starts in November. So I think for the first month, you'll have Renee maybe on commentary. They might be looking for someone to, fill in for her, obviously down long term. And then on Raw,
you think they would have had that guy? They got some pretty good dudes that are.
Yeah, I know. And people are wondering, where's Tom Phillips?
Yeah.
Where's Byron Saxton? I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on. But yeah, because Todd Phillips, great.
Yes.
I think Byron Saxton's okay. I don't think he's terrible.
He's Cody Graves' punching bag. Corey Graves' punching bag.
But you know what? But you know what? Corey Graves and Byron Saxton on commentary together, I always thought they were so comical together. I think they have great chemistry, and I think that's the role that they want Byron to play. And I think Byron's okay with being Corey Graves' punching bag. He's cool with that because he's always been a good sport about it. You never hear about Byron Saxton complaining because Corey Graves is bringing him down. He's always been a good sport about it.
Booker T wanting to fight him.
Yeah, and Booker T gave him that look one time, but I think eventually you'll have. Corey Graves. I mean, you have Renee Young. I'd put Byron Saxton back right there to have him and Saxton on the same team together because I always enjoyed the bickering they would do back and forth. And then on Raw, you got Vic Joseph. This dude is about to get the opportunity of his life. Arguably the most famous weekly wrestling television show of all time, and you're going to be the main play-by-play guy.
The longest episodic program running today.
Absolutely. And then also, let me see.
Who is Vic Joseph?
Vic Joseph was on 205 Live for a long time, and he filled in.
Obviously, nobody ever watched that.
No. I watch it every now and again.
So it's Vic Joseph and who else? That's it?
No, it's Vic Joseph. Jerry the King Lawler is going to step in for a little bit. They're trying to find somebody long term for Jerry the King Lawler. That's not a popular decision from the fans. I can tell you that based on the reaction I've seen.
Wait, what? Bringing in Jerry?
Yes.
They don't want him?
No, they don't.
What?
I don't know, but you know what? He's had his time. He was part of the greatest commentary duo in the history of pro wrestling, in my opinion, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler.
Definitely.
But you also have Dio Madden.
What in the crap are they doing to the Raw team?
Raw is based on this. Obviously, Raw's going to be the B show.
Oh my God!
I don't know, but Jerry the King Lawler is going to be there as well. I think that Jerry the King Lawler, they're going to find somebody long term. Maybe they bring in Tom Phillips. Tom Phillips. I don't know. Or maybe he's going to be doing some backstage stuff. I don't know. But going as the head guy from SmackDown to not being on commentary at all, are they letting him go? I mean, what's going on here?
This is like AEW hiring that, what's that one dude that's just bumbling all over himself? Alves or...
Alex Marvez?
Yeah, Alex Marvez.
Yeah, well, he's off the commentary team at AEW. Sleeping Angel says, to be honest with you, I think Monday Night Raw is the second best commentators behind NXT. I'm so sick of Cole, just saying. Some people were talking about, don't be surprised if Cole starts this thing off and eventually he makes room for maybe for like Tom Phillips comes in and takes over SmackDown long term. Because eventually, Cole's been doing this for over 20 years. I think Cole's at the point now where he wants to be
He works 1 day a week.
He works on the air 1 day a week. He's always backstage at the NXT shows. He's going to be backstage at Raw. He's like one of their big guys backstage as a producer now.
Well, then he works twice a week.
Well, he actually works 3 times, and he works obviously pay-per-views and stuff too. So, but he does a lot of things behind.
Bro, I would do that until I was dead.
Well, that's the thing. Cole's gonna have a job with WWE to the day he dies, doing backstage stuff to where he doesn't have the pressure of being on TV. So Cole is eventually, and they've been rumors of this for a long time, that Cole's eventually going to go backstage and do a backstage thing, which is cool. Cole knows how it works. Cole is one of Vince's boys. Cole's gonna, I think Cole is a good person to, teach the younger guys. He's probably taken the guys like Vic Joseph and Tom Phillips under his wing. He's taken like Pat McAfee under his wing as well.
Not Tom Phillips anymore.
Well, Tom Phillips, I think he's still going to be with the company. Maybe they're going to...
He was good, too.
Maybe they're just going to train him. Like, okay, the last couple of years on SmackDown was sort of his, all right, we're getting you warmed up here to take SmackDown over eventually long term.
Well, then why wouldn't they move him and keep him on a team.
Well, because you want a guy like, obviously you want a guy like Cole because you want to start off, with your best. And Cole right now,
I was saying, why wouldn't they move him to Raw so he gets?
Because I think eventually they're going to put him on SmackDown. Right now, I think they got Vic Joseph is going to be their guy on Raw long term.
Where's Jonathan Coachman? Don't they still have him?
Yeah, but a lot of people were giving him hell, and he's doing backstage stuff. He's on the pre-show panel for pay-per-views and stuff like that. I think that's a good spot for him. But Cole, I think, obviously you want to start off hot on Fox, so you're going to want to have your best guys, and whatever you think about Michael Cole, when you talk about experience and whatnot, and how, nobody's better than Cole right now. Cole's the best they got. The only problem with Cole is he's got Vince, hollering in his ear every 2 seconds. If you ever listen to Cole do stuff not on Raw, or there was that one time that I think Corey Graves was out, he filled in as like a color analyst on SmackDown. People were, giving him high praise at how great he sounded. So Cole is a tremendous commentator. The only problem is he's just got to say everything that Vince tells him to say in the headgear.
Well, the XFL is about to get started up. Maybe there'll be less of that.
We will see. But new commentary teams. I'm excited about Vic Joseph. I think he has a great sound. He needs a little bit of work, not to sound so robotic, but I think he's going to come into a flow, and it's going to give Raw, and like Sleeping Angel said, Raw. She thinks Raw, or he. I don't know if it's a he or a she, but thinks that Raw has the second best commentary team behind NXT. It's going to be a fresh, basically a fresh new look for Raw. There's a fresh new look and everything. They got new logos. They're going to have apparently a new set. They're bringing back pyro, from what I'm hearing. So
the new Raw logo looks like a hood ornament.
Yeah, that's what Ryan Bowman said.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: why wouldn't they get somebody like Joey Styles to come back?
I don't know if Joey Styles wants to come back and work for WWE.
If they paid him enough, he would.
Didn't he just walk out on? Wasn't that a shoot thing when he walked out?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So I don't think Joey Styles will be back anytime soon, if not ever, from WWE.
Bro, throw that money at Tony Schiavone.
He's with AEW now.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
I saw him on the MLW just like last week.
He's been on the AEW. He's been on the road to AEW on TNT stuff and all that stuff on their YouTube channel. Go watch some of their stuff.
Really?
Go watch some of AEW's road to TNT stuff and all that on.
So it's going to be Schiavone, Ross, and the hooded dude?
I don't think Schiavone's going to be on commentary. He's just doing like YouTube stuff for him, I think.
Oh. So maybe that's why he's still commentating for MLW then.
Probably so, yeah. But
Shout
certainly
out to Court Bauer.
But certainly, you got Jim Ross, you got Excalibur, and then who's the other guy?
Excalibur, that's it.
Yeah, Excalibur.
Golden Boy.
And Golden Boy, yeah. So that, to me, and I like Excalibur. I wish he'd take the stupid mask off, but whatever. If you're going to be an announcer, don't wear a damn mask. I mean, that's just...
Everybody's got a gimmick.
Yeah, so... But yeah. Now, let's... we got about, 12 minutes left, so we're going to talk about, quickly here, the Royal Rumble in 2020. From Minute Maid Park. Some of us here at the AMP crew, we got tickets.
Yeah, baby.
So what I want to know, and Crew said, follow the product, Mikey.
For what?
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, I guess the Tony Schiavone thing. Maybe?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but Cruz and them got tickets next to me, so I ended up buying 2 tickets because I couldn't pass up $35 tickets, even though we're up a little high. I think we're gonna have good seats, decent seats. I think every seat in Minute Maid Park is gonna be great. So we got 6 tickets. We're going to be rolling deep. Cruz is going to be there. Marcus Talbert, a regular in our chat, he's going to be there. Brinkman may or may not be coming there. I'll be there. Bruce Merchant, he got tickets with his daughter. Bruce Merchant, the owner of KEZM, which we broadcast on every Sunday night. He's going to be there as well. He goes to Astros games religiously. He told me that where we're going to be sitting, Cruz, it's pretty good seats. So
nice.
We're going to have good seats there. So I'm pumped up. I cannot wait. I'm jacked up as jacked up can be now because I was kind of freaking out about it because, I bought 2 tickets because I didn't want to risk them selling out because it's the Royal Rumble. It's a big event. Their 3rd biggest event of the year, arguably 2nd biggest event of the year because it really ties in with WrestleMania. But I didn't want it to sell out. I saw $35 tickets. I was like, screw it, I'm buying 2. I told Cruz where we were, and they bought the 4 seats next to me.
Hey.
So that was pretty cool. We got the hotel room, which is like 3 blocks from Minute Maid, so we're going to be walking from Minute Maid. We got a room just for the Sunday night. We also may go to Bible study after the Rumble, so
A lot of homeless people around that area.
Yeah,
Watch out.
Yeah, there is certainly. But and I may go the night before because I'm somewhat. They're not going to have an NXT takeover for the Rumble weekend. They're going to have this Worlds Collide show happening, which will feature NXT, 205 Live, and NXT UK stars. Which I think there's a potential it could be better than an NXT takeover with all these stars you got between the three brands. That could be very interesting. So some of the AMP crew, we're going to be there Royal Rumble weekend. I'm looking forward to it. If anybody out there is going to be there that weekend, hit us up. Let us know what's happening.
Oh, a meetup.
Yeah, meetup, man. We want to meet up with some wrestling fans, talk some wrestling, maybe have some beers, especially all you wrestling female fans. We want to hang out, and you never know. Come back to the hotel room, and we'll lay at the smack it down. You know what I'm saying?
As Limp Bizkit said, have you ever done it with a rock star?
I'll tell you. Well, I mean, I'm not a rock star.
You're a podcaster. Don't sell yourself short. You're on the AMP crew.
That's right.
Hey, let me ask you this: what are you doing with that extra ticket? You got a female in mind, or what?
Well, right now it's for Brinkman.
Okay.
But he will not know what his work schedule is until the first of the year. So.
Then why doesn't he just request the day off? It's that far away, dude.
But that's the thing. Like the way their schedule works, it changes.
But if you request
like
the day off, you got it off.
I don't know. We'll see. But right now, it's
talk some sense into this man, Cruz.
Well, we're trying to. We're trying to. But it's Brinks right now. If for some reason he says he can't come, I was maybe going to offer it to Bruce, but Bruce got a ticket already. So yeah, maybe a hottie with a body wants to come with me to the Royal Rumble. So
yeah.
Or like I said, maybe I'll run into a hot female wrestling fan in Houston that weekend, and
that's looking for a ticket.
I'm gonna say, hey girl, I'm your man. I'm your ticket to the ticket.
I got
you know
these
what I'm saying?
2 tickets to paradise.
Yeah, that's right. 2 tickets to paradise. So the Royal Rumble, Minute Maid Park. I'm jacked up.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm super excited about it. I've already been looking into Bible Club places, and
You guys going to do any wrestler meet and greets?
We don't know if there's going to be any. We don't know what like I said, the only thing that we know right now is we're going to be at the Royal Rumble event.
Yeah.
WWE hasn't announced any sort of meet and greets or anything like that. And there's going to be the Worlds Collide show. That's about it. Other than that, we don't know exactly what's happening. But hey, when WrestleMania went to New Orleans, I heard there was some bars on Bourbon Street playing nothing but wrestling music. That's where I want to go.
Yeah.
I want to go to some places where all the wrestling fans are going to converge, talk wrestling, drink some beer. I want to hear, Velveteen Dream's theme song blaring, or whoever. I don't know. Shinsuke Nakamura's theme song, any wrestling song. I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to go where all the wrestling fans are going to be hanging out.
Bobby Roode.
Especially the female fans, man. Look, I'm trying to do a little small package roll up on a girl, for real. Trying to get freaky in Houston that weekend, man.
Yeah, you trying to grapple.
Trying to lay the smack down on some candy ass, man. So, but yeah, Royal Rumble in Houston. It'll be January 26th, 2020. The AMP crew are going to be there. Section 332. Come holler at us.
Yes.
Row 6. Seats 1 through 6. Come holler at us. I know exactly where we at. Where we're at. So y'all come holler at us Royal Rumble weekend. We'll be there. But speaking of females.
Oh yes.
Yeah, let's man, this was interesting. So Rob Van Dam living his best life right now. Let me pull up this tweet. Let me pull up this tweet from Rob Van Dam.
If you're on our live stream,
you're welcome.
Yes.
So anybody watching this live stream right now, Cruz put a thing of boobs in the chat earlier that he foreshadowed.
Show.
Hashtag the whole effing show is what and he actually put the word, which I cannot say on radio right now. But so Rob Van Dam tweeted this out 2 days ago. It says, a lot of people tell me I'm their hero for many different reasons. It's Rob Van Dam sitting in either a pool or a hot tub. I'm assuming one or the other, obviously.
It looks like a hot tub.
Yeah, let's call it a hot tub because hot tubs are steamy, literally.
Yes.
But he's got a blonde and a brunette. I think one of them might be his wife.
See, that's what I was fixing to ask you.
Katie
Isn't he
Forbes.
married?
Well, I tell you what, whether one of
How
these...
can a married man get away with this?
Well, look, either way, Rob Van Dam is winning because if he's married and his wife is sitting there allowing him to grope another woman next to him, he's living it.
He's got a handful on both hands.
So yeah, so let me if you can't see the live stream right now, let me paint the picture for you. It's Rob Van Dam. He's got the brunette to his right, the blonde to his left, and they're topless.
Yes.
And Rob Van Dam is basically reaching around both of them and has each hand on their outside boob, and then the girls have each of their inside hands on their other boobs, so their boobs are covered. You can't see it in the picture, but Rob Van Dam has one arm on each outside boob, and then the free arm that the girls have, one, they're doing the thumbs to themselves like the Rob Van Dam thing, and it's legendary. I saw that. I said, there's no way we can't talk about this on the podcast.
And this isn't like ECW height of his career. This is Impact Rob Van Dam, who can barely get in the ring anymore.
I guarantee you he was baked out of his mind at this
definitely.
point. Because when I went look at his because I heard about this, I was like, let me go check this out. I went to his Twitter, and dude's talking about 420, this and that. And I'm like, this dude is just baked out of his mind, grabbing boobs. And this dude is loving life right now.
Impact must be paying him well.
They must be. So he got this picture, and then there was another picture that I'm about to put up here that he put on his Instagram.
If you're a backside man, you're going to love this one.
And if you like the cabooses here, there's 4 of them. We got 2 more women in here.
Honky tonk, but donkey donks. It's like they just keep coming.
So it's Rob Van Dam, and he's sitting there like he's meditating. He's got his arms, palms up, just stretched out, and there's just 4 girls, 2 to each side, and they're just bent over with their butts just out there.
With the thong.
Yeah, they got the thongs. I think they're all topless, too. They look all topless, so I don't know what Rob Van Dam's doing with his life, but I need to find out.
You're seeing it right there. That's what he's doing with his life.
Yeah, I know, but I want to know what he's doing that is leading to this.
He's the whole effing show. That's why.
He's Mr. Monday Night.
Yes.
Which he's about to be Mr. Tuesday Night because Impact's going to be on Tuesday nights.
Yes, they are.
But my goodness gracious, Rob Van Dam. And I remember I met a girl on Tinder who was from Battle Creek, Michigan, whose mom went to high school with Rob Van Dam. And yes, we did it.
Wait.
I feel connected to Rob Van Dam in a sense.
You did it with the girl.
I did it with the girl whose mom went to school with Rob Van Dam.
Oh, I thought the mom shagged Rob Van Dam.
No, I did the girl whose mom went to school with Rob Van Dam. So me and Rob, man, we connected like that somehow. You know what I'm saying? I that is a true story, and I did her 3 times.
Before you went in, you were like P-A-T.
Hey, I like that. I'm gonna have to keep that. But so we kind of bonded on that because she told me because we met on Tinder. And she told me that she moved down here to live with her sister. Her sister lived in Westlake, so she was living with her sister.
Yeah.
And she told me that she was originally from Battle Creek, Michigan. And when you told me Battle Creek, Michigan, I'm thinking, oh, hey, you ever heard of Rob Van Dam? And she was like, oh my God, my mom knows Rob Van Dam. She went to high school with Rob Van Dam. So boom, we connected right there. So yes, and we eventually
and then
did
you
it.
Connected in other ways.
Yeah, we connected. We bumped uglies, as they like to say. So
this is not a kid's show.
No, it's not.
Not tonight.
But no, not tonight. But hey, you know what? We got to have a little fun every now and again. So, but yeah, Rob Van Dam. He's got topless women in the pool. At least 4 of them. And dude's just grabbing boobs, got booties in his face, and Rob Van Dam is just living the life. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that down now before, we get somebody says something, then complaints or whatever.
If you're listening to the podcast, make sure you go rewatch the live stream on YouTube or Twitch or Periscope.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but Mikey O, we're getting ready to run out of time, man.
You think he was man enough to take all 4 of them?
I don't know. I know John Cena had 6 girls at one time, and when he was on Howard Stern. Years ago, Howard's like, how many girls? He's like 6. He's like, dude, get the hell out of here. He's like, could you handle that? John's like, hell no, I couldn't handle that, man. Even John Cena admitted he couldn't handle 6 women. So, but Rob Van Dam, I don't know, man. Even, like I said, baked out of his mind. I don't know that now that would be something.
4 is pushing it.
I would watch that video. That's all I'm saying. I would watch that video. So. But anyways, yeah, man, we're getting ready to run out of time. So it's been a fun episode, I tell you what. So go ahead and take us home, man.
Follow us on social media at The Average Marks, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, Twitch, YouTube. We're there. Make sure you give us a subscribe and a follow on all of those platforms. Also, if you like our content, consider giving $1 a month toward the content so that we can keep putting out wrestling content for years to come. $1 will go a long way. Patreon.com/TheAverageMarks. All right, we're out of here, Patrick. We're going to be back next week. Same wrestling time, Thursdays, 5:30. Get us out of here, Patrick.
Outro.
You've been listening to the Average Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast with Michael Leander and Patrick Fry. All opinions discussed in the show are those of the Average Marks and do not represent any wrestling company, organization, or individual. For more information on the show, follow us on Twitter and iTunes. AMP is a proud member of the Roar Network, powered by thegorillaposition.com.